What is up, guys? Welcome back to Patriot Lifting. My name is Matt. I'm the owner of Patriot Lifting. Today, we got something exciting. It's a nighttime job. It's late in the evening. It's about 6:30 or so. We're gonna run out and help the city of Atlanta set up for the World Cup that's coming to town. So I'm gonna take the boom truck and we're gonna go put out some barriers for them. So stay tuned, should be fun. All right, so we're gonna get the old Dirty 30 started up. Like a champ. Should be like a champ. She's brand freaking new. See how much fuel we got. You know what? Forget it. We're good. It's my only complaint with this new Peterbilt is it is really hard to read the fuel gauge. It's crazy. You would think that would make that fuel gauge a little bit easier to read. Whatever. Anyway, I'm gonna get my stuff. We're gonna get rolling. Go ahead and plug this girl in real quick. All right, almost forgot to do my walk around. Be good. Kick the tires. And I think we're good. Everything's all pinned like it should be. The truck's already warmed up because it's 6 o'clock in the evening and Steven's been using it all day, so we're good to go. Wow, see that? That is not easy to read. I mean, it's easy to read now that we're looking at it. Wait, as a matter of fact, that's not easy to read. That's the freaking def. The fuel's over here. Do better, Peterbilt. That's all I gotta say. Hard hat. Phone's charging. Should be good to go. To the races. I guess this World Cup thing is a big deal. Put that little light camera down. I guess this World Cup thing is a really big deal. I don't know. I don't really watch soccer, but it seems like a big deal to everybody in Atlanta, so whatever. I think it's just cool to be doing a night job. I dig night jobs. I think they're fun. It's gonna be awesome. I didn't bring a flashlight though. Crap. Well, whatever. We'll figure it out. I got 2 phones, that means I got double the line. Fun note, my wife is right over there at that grocery store shopping with 3 kids. I feel kind of bad. I'm not actually helping her at all. If any of you guys know what it's like to go grocery shopping with 3 kids, I mean, Jeff Foxworthy said he'd rather take a beating with a brick stick than take 3 kids into the grocery store. And I believe him. I think I'd take the brick stick too. I can't do it. I don't know how my wife does it, to be honest with you. 4, 3, and 1. Those are the ages of my kids. Whew. That woman is amazing. Merging is now a talent. I've come to the conclusion that being able to adjust your speed to fit into a gap on I-75, just that interstate alone is kind of a skill, especially if it's in Henry County. Because, buddy, there's some traffic on this interstate. This interstate goes all the way to like Michigan or something, so it's kind of crazy. But it goes all the way from Florida, I think, to Michigan. That's where it goes. And there are a lot of people that drive on this interstate. I mean, at any point in time, you can basically see some sort of YouTube shenanigans going on up and down 75. You might see, you know, also like famous people. Like I ran into ZZ Top on 75. I didn't run into him. That would have been, you know, an insurance claim. But I saw their bus, and it was really late at night, and they were sitting in it, and you could see the lights on in there. So it was pretty cool. You could see their beards and stuff. That was pretty awesome. But yeah, you see a lot of famous people on 75, like Jason Aldean, Luke Bryan. Of course, they both are from Georgia, but it's not hard to see all kinds of people just on this one interstate alone. It's kind of cool, actually. And there's all kinds of stuff going down here, and then getting on 16, going to the port of Savannah. There's all kinds of like massive heavy haul stuff that goes up and down. There goes a massive heavy haul truck right there. Yeah, so it's kind of cool in a way. You get to see a lot of stuff when you're on this interstate a lot. Man, I'm glad the rain let up though, because it was pretty much supposed to rain all day today. And about 4 o'clock, it downpoured. It was pouring. I mean, those big fat raindrops that when they hit you, it's like somebody dropping gumballs on you. But it quit. Everything dried up again. It's one of those summertime showers where they call for rain all day, but you only get rain like for 20 minutes in the afternoon. And it's enough to get everybody soaking wet. And then it cranks the heat back up to like 85, 90 degrees. And then you feel nice and moist for the rest of the day. Oh yeah. Check this out. Random road cone in the middle of the road. I'm guessing that manhole was busted. Kind of funny. Somebody gonna hit that road cone in the next 5 minutes. So, fun story. This road right here is I-20. Goes from, I don't know, South Carolina to New Mexico or something. And I was coming 20 back into Atlanta on the west side, driving Ruby, and it was late at night. It was like, I don't know, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. I used to run Ruby all hours of the night. I ran the snot out of that crane. And I hit a bump, and there's a bump so bad at 285 and 20 that the front tires, I swear, came up in the air. And that bump was so rough that it threw the belt off the engine. And when it did that, I noticed immediately my engine started overheating. And so anyway, pulled over off to the side. There's not a lot of room on the shoulders, you can kind of see, but like they have these medians around the middle, and then there's not a lot of room on the edges of the road. So I pulled over off to the side of the road, and I got an Uber back home. Because keep in mind, I was working by myself, and so I got an Uber back home, and early the next morning, I got up, and I was running around with my Uncle Marvin trying to find a belt for Ruby. And so we went to an auto parts store. We went to a bunch of different places. Anyway, we're on the way back with a new belt, and I got a phone call from another crane company saying, hey, is everything all right? And I was like, sure, everything's fine. I just blew a belt. I'm, headed back to put a belt on. No big deal. And they said, oh, there's a car wrapped up around your crane, and it's mangled. And I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta get back. So we got back, and a girl driving a little car, I don't know what kind of car it was, just one of them little plastic cars, like a Toyota Corolla or something. She said a log truck had ran her out of her lane, and she rear-ended that 110-ton crane in the back end at 75 miles an hour on this road. And so I got there, and she was there. I don't know how she, number one, survived, and number two, she just had bruises and scratches. But it mangled that car up. I mean, terrible. Of course, it didn't do anything to the crane but bend the step. But I felt so bad for her because, I put out road cones and triangles and all that kind of stuff, reflective, whatever. And, I guess she couldn't avoid it. But anyway, so she hit the back end of the crane. She didn't dead center it, so she kind of deflected, and it spun around and went on down the road. That's how I knew she was going so fast. And plus, this speed limit on this road, people run 80 to 100 miles an hour easily. It's crazy how fast they drive. So it wasn't the right belt. So what I did was, I made sure she was all right. Everybody was cool. And so I left, and I went back. We went back searching for another belt to try and get that thing fixed up so I could drive it back home. It was about an hour away from my house at the time. And so I went back out, and I got a phone call from DOT. And they were like, where are your triangles? And why is this thing sitting on the side of the road? And I said, well, it got hit by a car. It blew a belt first, and then it got hit by a car. So, I'm gonna try and get it cleaned up as quick as I can and get it off the road or whatever, as soon as I find a belt. And they said, no, you need to get here right now. I've got some citations to write you. You don't have your triangles out. You don't have this out. You don't have that out. And I said, all of that was destroyed by the car that hit me in the back end. And they said, it's like the guy did not understand what I was saying. But he asked me again. He said, where are your triangles? Because your triangles should have been out and that car wouldn't have hit you. So, well, the car hit the triangles and mangled them. I mean, there's pieces of triangle on the ground. So I had to go back again to show the DOT officer, like, look, there are pieces of this triangle, these reflective triangles everywhere from where that car had ran over and just plowed through them all. And luckily, the guy did not write me a ticket. He was pretty cool after he kind of understood. But there was a good bit of conversation that had to go on just to really explain to the guy that the car hit me in the back end and it destroyed all the stuff that I had out. So, at the end of the day, that guy doesn't have any pants on. Okay. Well, that's a little weird. Anyway, at the end of the day, there was another crane company that actually I reached out to and just asked him if I could get it off the road and get it parked over at their parking lot. And so that's what I did. You guys over at A-Crane, if y'all are watching this, grateful, forever grateful to this day. And they let me go over there and work on the crane, get it back going again, and then I was able to drive it home. So that was only like the next exit down. So it was pretty nice to get it off the road, but it was crazy to see the results of a car that hit the back end of Ruby, which is a 110-ton truck crane, that hit it at 75 miles an hour. And the cop verified that that car was going 75 miles an hour. So, you know, we know, but it was crazy. But all's well as ends well. Got a belt on. She got a new car out of the deal. And I think they tracked that truck driver down for running her off the road. But anyway, she was good and everybody was okay. So it worked out, but still crazy. Alright, so they said to give them a call when I got here, but these barriers look like what we're setting. And they said they're going over a fence, so there's a fence right there. This has got to be it. Alright, so I talked to the guys. I was sitting over there. They backed me into this road, and we are setting those. Wow, when you hit that bump, you could feel the bridge actually move. We're setting those over that fence. And the reason is they have put little bike lane limitations on being able to use anything else. So you need to sit in the road and be able to reach over the fence to be able to set those. I guess because there's not enough spacing on the back side of the wall. But anyway, who am I to question how they do things? I don't really care. It's my job to figure out how to do it with a crane. So that's what I'm gonna do. They're shutting this road down, and I guess this part of the bridge or whatever. So I'm gonna pull up and get long ways right there, and they should have some of those barriers right there set out there for me to just pick up. They say they got some sort of fancy clamp or something, so I'm gonna use the clamp to pick them up, set them over the fence where they want them, and then I'm gonna move down, set some more. We'll see how it goes. Stay tuned. Check out the clearance he's got between the sun and the fence right there. He's trying to wiggle that through there. And all the while, they got people riding scooters down through here. There goes a self-driving car right there. Pretty wild. There it goes. There's nobody in that white car. Crazy. Beautiful sunset tonight. I guess he needs some help. And he's having some trouble. When he went down that ramp, the forklift kind of tipped up on him, and I think it kind of freaked him out. Now, a lot of you are probably wondering why I didn't bring the Lee Bear. Number one, the Dirty 30's awesome. Number two, this is a whole entire bridge. All this, everything is a bridge. It's all an elevated structure. Now, I don't really know. It didn't say no trucks. I didn't see any signs saying anything. But I'm pretty sure it's going to exclude the Lee Bear. Just a guess. But I know that the Dirty 30 weighs about as much as a garbage truck. They got garbage trucks running through here all the time. They don't have Liebherrs running through here all the time. So, I think we'll be all right with this. But I would not bring the Liebherr up here, for sure. Even though it would be totally sick to drop the whole thing on outriggers, maybe even do an on tires chart, reach over the side, pick them, drive forward, pick another one, drive forward, pick another one. It would have been totally sick to do it with the Liebherr. But on a suspended bridge like this, nah, not really into that. So I'm glad I brought the Dirty 30. All right, we got some downtime while they're shuttling out those barriers. Figure we just walk and talk, check out what they got going on. Boy, how would you like to have that as an office? Where does he pee?
They'd come back in a month and take it all down?
Yeah, that's what I hear. I hear we're setting it all up and then taking it all back down. When is the World Cup?
Starts Monday.
Oh boy.
Here.
Wow. You gonna be here for the chaos?
Start Friday. First game will be there Monday.
Oh, okay. Cool. I guess this is just to keep people from, I don't know, going on that building property. I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of people they're expecting here, but I guess they're going to be expecting a lot. I'd be worried about them getting drunk and falling off this bridge. Says I wouldn't be here without Grady. I wouldn't be here without Grady. I had a bad motorcycle wreck. Lost about 40% of my skin. Yeah, that was a long story. I've gotten a lot smarter though, so that's good. Atlanta's pretty cool. A lot of people talk crap on Atlanta, but it's a pretty cool city. You know, it has its crime rate and tons of bad people. Here comes one of these cars that nobody's driving. Check it out. There was nobody in that car. But overall, Atlanta's pretty cool. There's a lot of fun stuff to do. You got World of Coca-Cola, Atlanta Zoo. I don't know. And it's always cool working down here, because there's always cranes down here. People are always building stuff. It's pretty awesome. They said there's a total of like 38 barriers we gotta set. So, I don't know. Probably gonna be here until like 1 or 2 a.m. Might run out of battery life or memory. Who knows? So my father-in-law pointed out a really interesting thing. He said that the biggest buildings in cities are banks and insurance companies. That's a bank. And that's a bank. I don't think he was wrong. Kind of ironic. I wonder why. Alright. They just came and got me. Said it is showtime. This rig into drive. Head over there and block some traffic. Got a couple cops behind me. I think they're gonna block traffic for us, so that'll be helpful. It's be a little bit tricky because I don't know if I should shoot I can't really shoot my outriggers where I need them to go. Maybe I can. Maybe I can kind of center up and shoot them right in between the concrete barriers. Looks like that might be right. Pull the brakes on, check it out and see. Just gonna walk around to this other side over here. Looks like I can get that one out. And it's a no-go for this one. Back up a little bit more. Oh well. So a couple things about my setup. I'm not gonna put my front outrigger down, or I am gonna put my front outrigger down. But I'm not gonna put any pads down. Mainly because I have about 15 setups to do. And we have to get it all done tonight. I'm not gonna do that with the pads around. Number two, I'm on a very firm concrete foundation. And they say these barriers weigh about 4,000 to 5,000 pounds. Which I should be able to do on a single party one. We're gonna look at our chart. See what our best numbers are. Fully extended without stud extension. Looks like we could probably go 55 feet or so. Should be good. To smack it. And then it just works. Pretty cool. I can get around this light bulb now. I'm gonna scope in, we're gonna move. I got a long way to go. We're gonna go down that whole road and then take a right, go down the other road, so it's a long job. All right, so we've made it all the way down the road to the stoplight. Now we're at the corner, and so we're gonna turn the corner. And these kind officers are gonna block this road, and we only have the one lane and then the sidewalk, and we got these, but we got power lines right here, so we got all that to kind of contend with. So they're gonna bring these down and stash them all on the sidewalk. One of the problems that we're gonna kind of run into, we just need to be paying attention as the night goes on and it gets later. We've got a really tight area. I'll walk around and show you. We got a really tight area to land these things in because there's a wall and it just kind of gets tighter, you know, as you go on down through there, and then you go to the steps and that gets tighter and on down. So, you know, we just feel it out. We just do what we do. Just keep swinging them, get into a rhythm. You know, I've gotten to where I can kind of grab these things pretty decent, and seems to be working out pretty good. But I will tell you, this will make a good operator out of you. I've never used this grabber system before, but it's pretty cool. It seems to be working really good. So it's rated for 5,000 pounds. These things weigh 5,000 pounds, so it's working out good. So we'll just keep on trucking along. All right, so one thing I happen to know is that there is concrete under these sidewalks. There's concrete all up under all of this. This is all concrete. The reason I know that is because I was here when it was built. I helped put a lot of this stuff in. So I frequently commuted up here and was around this while they were building it, while they were pouring all the concrete and everything. So there's concrete under that sidewalk. So ain't worried about it. And there's a bunch of rebar in it too, and wire mesh. Look at that officer shining a light on there, trying to help us out. That guy's pretty cool. Almost forgot. They brought us all Popeyes, which is pretty sweet. But I left my tea right there. I guess we're just gonna hang out and chill for a second. Looks like we're maybe waiting on blocks or something. Waiting on somebody to get back. This cop's kind of got me blocked. Like, he's blocking me and protecting me, but he's not really protecting anything over there. So as long as everybody keeps their distance, I'm gonna stay off that side as much as possible, just so I don't take a chance on like slipping and falling while I'm trying to get on and off or something like that, falling into traffic. So I'm gonna hang out on this side where the sidewalk is. Where the sidewalk is, the road will begin. It's a good song. I'm getting tired. It's like, what, 11:30, 12 o'clock now? We're gonna keep on rolling, probably be here another couple hours at least. Here comes my forklift now. Pole. This is a fun little job. Coolest thing is we get to come back and undo it. they don't have to be centered. Everybody wants the load to pick up exactly level. But in my opinion, the ideal load, you want slightly tilted just a little bit. Because when you go to land it, it's so much easier to maneuver it when you touch down the low side and then you turn it or manipulate it into place. Especially when you're working by yourself. It's way easier to hang things just slightly out of level, touch down the low side, and then turn and land the other side. And you can decide how much friction you want, and you can be real precise once you got that one side landed. You can be real precise with exactly where you want to put it at. Because the lower you put it, the more friction it has to where it doesn't want to swing around a lot. So, just a pro tip. Just gotta go double check because we're a little bit short on blocks because the truck that was bringing all these barricades blew up on the interstate and didn't make it. So we're like a semi-truckload short right now. But it'll be all right. We're gonna stretch them out, make them work. You know one thing I noticed? This Patriot lifting sticker is so jacked up. I let my 4-year-old son put it on and he did not care. He slapped that joker right on the front end of this hard hat. And it is not straight at all. So I apologize to y'all. Maybe I should peel it off and put a new one on. It kind of reminds me of Jesse. So, you know, it is what it is. He's 4. Get over it. All right, y'all. We're headed down, I think, to our last setup. Maybe 2 more. We got 4 more barriers down there. Or maybe that's 11. I don't know. I'm getting delusional. All right, all right, all right. It's 4 a.m. Let's do this one last time. Last setup. Almost forgot my hard hat. I gotta have my Crooked Patriot hard hat on. All right. Got 2 more to set. Make sure I'm straight in. We're now on an old sidewalk. So we're gonna have to put some pads down. Oh man. And I can't get this one out. Okay. Alright. Well, I guess I need to either back up or go forward. I'll go forward. Adjustment. Well, we did it, guys. We got them all done. The whole fence line has got concrete behind it. All the way down. All the way down through there. And all the way down the other side. So, hope you guys like this video. If you like content like this, comment. Tell me what you want to see. I don't get to run a crane every day, but when I do, I usually try to get some footage. So thanks for watching, y'all. Thanks for the support. We greatly appreciate it. We'll see you guys on the next one. Did you guys see that trash can strapped on the top of that car? That was hilarious.